So, 3 rounds. It's your time up. Take all the time you need. The 3 best rounds you can give me. Then we'll fade back to the 7, the 10, the 15, the 20, and the 25. Again, from the ready position of your choice. Give me the 3 best rounds you can. Try to keep them on the 3x5 card. This is what? It's all about this, isn't it? It's all about this. Remember what a 1/16 of an inch was at 7 yards? What do you think it is at 25? Yeah, it's big. So this will all be about your essential skills. While you're doing this, you're getting kind of warmed up. Darren, Bucky, and I will get a chance to kind of look at you and see where you are in your shooting skills. Are you good, Spider-Man? All right, let me get out of the way. All right, load, make ready.
It's going to be a long week, Darren.
It is.
It's going to be a long week.
Yeah,
I'm going to tell your wife.
It's going to be a long week.
All right, people, focus, focus. Here we go, ready? Hup!
Already starting off in a bad mood.
Here we go, ready? Hup! Hey, Abner, you missed one. Missed 2.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm rusty on handgun, man.
You know what? If we could throw hand grenades, we wouldn't have to worry about all this precision.
Hoorah!
Come on, folks, let's do this well. Let's do it well. Ready? Hup!
Last shot, I'm going, yeah.
That was off. Might as well be honest and show you. Miss, 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 miss. My range partner did pretty well.
It's not like it could just be understated point.
That's what I get for paying attention to rifles so much lately.
This is the firing line. I saw quite a few of you standing exactly like this, back on your heels. Now, when the gun recoils, where do the forces go?
Through your shoulder.
Right. The first thing we want to correct is we want to be forward on our toes. Literally forward on our toes. So if I had to, I could bounce up and down. And we want to spread our feet out. Shoulder width apart is not the optimum. It's the minimum. So your feet should never be closer together than shoulder width apart. The more separated you can make them, the more stable you'll be. Sound idea to take it back just a little bit, just to give yourself a more stable platform. Why you want to have your feet side to side? What's the chances you'll rock back on your heels versus having your feet more separated like this and rocking back on your heels? More likely you're going to be able to stay on your toes. I've heard it described, I guess it's okay, that when you're forward on your toes in a good solid position, I should be able to take a business card and slide it under your heel. I'm not sure if, I don't necessarily buy into that because I don't think there's any problem with your heel making contact with the ground as long as your weight is forward on the balls of your feet. So far, so good. Okay? Your upper torso should be into the gun. I hate to say nose over toes or shoulders over toes and things like that because we're all different. If some of you guys that have a little bit more developed Budweiser tumor, Getting a little further forward can literally throw you off balance. Okay? So you got to kind of develop what that is for yourself. But you definitely want to be forward into the gun, because if the gun is going to recoil, and you realize it recoils back, it doesn't recoil up. Recoils back, you want to be into the gun to fight the recoil, because the more you fight the recoil, the better your gun works. The more you fight the recoil, the better your gun works. Does that make sense to you?
Yes, sir.
Let the springs do their job. Fight the recoil, the gun will work better. Don't baby the guns. Make them work. Okay, so feet spread out, forward on your toes, upper torso into the gun. Okay? Unlock the knees. Don't lock the knees. Unlock the knees. When we start moving later in the week, having locked knees is just going to set you up for failure. So unlock your knees. I mean, it doesn't mean you have to bend them and do a squat. You're not taking a dump in the woods. Just unlock your knees. So this is a good platform right here. I can literally walk into this, which is good. You want to be able to walk into it, then you want to be able to get out of it very quickly. Grip. Never accept a shit grip. Build a good, solid grip every time. Even if it takes you a little bit more time, build a good, solid grip. How do you do that? Maximize the design of the pistol. This is the grip tag, right? What's it for? Huh? Leverage. It's not to keep slide bite off your hand. Matter of fact, the original semi-automatic pistols, they didn't even think about that. It's leverage. If you push up here, look at the muzzle. Why do you think we emphasize get your hand as high as we can in the tang? Because it's something to talk about? No. Because what's it do to the muzzle?
Keeps down.
If I'm here, that leverage is gone. But if I'm up here, I've got leverage. Keep in mind, it's called a handgun because that was short for one hand gun. That's what they were originally called, a one-hand gun, a handgun. When they first developed the semi-automatic pistol, one of the things they understood they could do that they could not on a revolver was create a lever, a wedge, to get your hand up in it to help you lever down the muzzle. If you look at some of the early pistols, you know, from like the late 1800s, the tang on some of them were really long. And it was designed to do that so that you could shoot it with one hand and lever the gun down. Between this hand going up here and then the fingers reversing direction and going down, the thought was you'd be able to control the recoil with one hand. And they did a pretty good job of that. Pretty good job of that. One of the things that I happen to kind of like about the original Glock pistols is the tang kind of curved and went downward. I don't know if the fifth gen got to do that or not. Okay, do they?
No.
Yeah, but it kind of curved down, so when you got your hand up in there like that, it helped lever it down. I like that idea. Some of the tangs are not very effective. That's unfortunate because this is a wonderful lever. So, the first thing we want to do is we want to put the web of our hand up in the tang. We want the web of that hand to be straight down our arm. If I'm going to absorb the recoil, do you think it being right here would be better than it being right here? Or right here? So it goes right, straight down the support structure. Almost like I'm pointing my finger. Everybody point shoots. Were you awake during that part?
I was, sir.
Okay, good. All right, good. So up in it like that. Guys, I'm giving you very detailed instructions on how to build your grip. Listen. I already do this. Yeah, but you suck at it. Okay? Up into the tang. Okay? Now at this point right here, you can see that my fingers can't go straight, can they? No. They won't be able to engage the front strap. So I'm literally going to reverse course, and now these fingers are going to be pointed downward. So I'm going up, and I'm turning the fingers down to get to the front strap, and it creates this. Push on the muzzle. No, push back, let the recoil. See that? Now, if I just let my hand slide down here like this, watch what happens.
Yep.
There's brake in there. So you want to get up high into it, reverse the fingers down, wrap them around. Now, I can literally control this. What is the mistake that many people make? Look at the gap. Push on it. All I got to do is flag my thumb. Right there, there's your one-hand grip. If you're not doing that, you're wrong. You want me to spend more time with you later on this? Please. Okay. All right. I worry about Mike. He's new to the shooting thing. Okay, so now, we all realize two hands are better than one, right? Mm-hmm. Taking a look at this support hand, this firing hand grip, strong hand grip, shooting hand grip, whatever you want to call it. Where does it make sense to insert my support hand?
All the empty space.
The empty space, the gap. Why?
On the gun, more control.
Okay. Think about this. When I say the word grip, what jumps into your head? Closing your fingers. Okay. What else?
The part of the gun I want my hand on.
That's okay. There's no right or wrong answer here. What I want to do is I want to change how you think about it. When I say the word grip, I want you to think more about applying inward pressure or creating friction. See the difference between just closing your hand around it? So I want to apply inward pressure. With the shooting hand, it's front to back. The support hand is side to side. So this is more like, what would be like this? This would be more like, well, front to back. Most things, I would guess, is how you would grip it. Because this one right here would be more like squeezing. So up in here, wrap the fingers around your hair like this. So we're going to insert this hand in here. But we're just not going to slap it up there. We're going to apply it a particular way. Okay? I'll spend more time with you later.
Please.
Okay. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take this hand and I'm going to point these fingers down. Why?
It locks the wrist, doesn't allow it to flex back.
Well, it locks the wrist. But also, as I insert this hand into this open gap, if these fingers are pointed downward when I close in on them, where are they applying the pressure?
Side to side.
Back against the front strap. You and I are in a gunfight. We're trying to save our lives. And I'm here like this, and my trigger isn't reset. I bet you I beat you every time. Because, well, just click. Under the duress of this man trying to take your life, you're going to have a presence of mind. You just go click. Bullshit. Your finger's going to open, close, and all kinds of other stuff. So you've got to reset the trigger while recovering from recoil. And that's what we're going to work on. The reason we work on this is it also will help you better control the trigger because we all suffer trigger control. What we'll do next then is we'll fight the recoil like we normally would. But we're still resetting while we recover in recoil. You can't shoot that fast if you're not already reset. We're going to do that for a bit. And then we're going to go and put this other support hand on there. We're going to build that proper grip. So we'll be in it like this. And I threw one. Why did I throw one?
You lost concentration.
I didn't recover. Didn't recover. There is a cadence to this. And you got to get kind of a feel for it. And I haven't done this drill in 6 months. So that's all right. But that's what we want to do. But what we're doing is you're resetting the trigger in recovery, but you're also getting the feel for the trigger, and you're learning to tell the trigger what to do. That's really important. Because the gun's got to do your bidding, or the bullet's never going to go where you want it to. That, holding it to reset and then letting it out, You can do that with your precision rifle or your plinking guns or all that kind of stuff. But in a gunfight, you don't have time. When you're on target, the trigger needs to be ready to be used. So just take that and throw it away. Triggers, you're recovering in recoil, you're resetting the trigger. So when the gun lines up, you're ready to shoot. Doesn't mean you have to shoot. You always have the option not to shoot. That's up to you. But if you need to shoot, you can. You're not trying to let the trigger out a smidgen because it ain't gonna work. Stay in contact with the trigger. If you take your finger off the trigger, you're just setting yourself up for failure. One hand on target. Mr. Smith.
Yes, sir.
One hand on target.
One hand.
One hand. There you go.
We're going to be on that left triangle. Here we go. Stand
Guys,
by.
don't worry about the recoil. Don't worry about recoil.
Don't fight the recoil. You want to see it rise. It's going to give you time to reset it before you come back down. We're just getting started. Here we go. On target, on target, on target. There you go.
Mount.
Leaned up, leaning back here. Back to the holster. Back in the holster.
Cover the holster. Now, listen. We're going to go back to the same drill, but I'm going to add something to it. See how minimal you can move your index finger and still set the gun off. You're going to find out that many of you put a lot more into it than you have to. See how minimal you can move this finger. And on top of that, try to move it from this knuckle, this second knuckle forward. No more. I shouldn't be seeing any movement back in here. Should be from here forward. So see how little you can move it and still do this. But other than that, the drill's the same.
All right, guys, we're going to do it again. If you need to top off, do it real quick. Otherwise, we're going to do, let's only do about 3 or 4 rounds. No sense in wasting a bunch of ammo. Let's go ahead and get started back on target. Be thinking about what you're doing. We'll do it 3 or 4 rounds. Remember, exaggerate that rise. Let it rise.
Don't worry about being right.
Let it ease out on the way down. Here we go, on target. Ready, shoot! In the holster. If you need to top off, go ahead and top it off. You got to trade out. We're going to do it again. There you go.
What? You got me. You got me watching you. This is what you're paying for. All right? Okay.
Do it again. You got empty mags, just leave them down on the ground. We'll pick them up in a second. Just start back out on target. Give it
on your toes. Spread the feet out. Spread the feet out. Get on your toes.
Have that weight forward.
Good. Slack out. That's
Remember,
good.
Fight that recoil, but this time it's going to rise. It's going to rise. Ready? Shoot!
Good. Good, good. Slow down. You're smacking the trigger. Okay, you're smacking the trigger. Okay. Go ahead and put your gun on target. Put it on there.
If you need to top
this is what you
off,
should be
do
doing.
Again,
No, I'm just letting you have it.
Put something
Let
on
me
the
have
ground.
it. Okay?
Don't bend over,
Don't do
guns
anything.
out.
Let me
if
have
he's
it.
working with somebody, that's fine. You can go ahead and bend over, but otherwise, bye.
Now, see, we went up real high, but I can see the muzzle of your gun already up.
So
Give me this. Hold this for a second.
not quite yet. We really want to get that. Watch my hands. You really want to get that up, out on the way down. All right. Boom, out on the way down. So really on the way down, it should be clicking.
Okay, it's you.
Just before you arrive on the sights again.
Just wanted to make sure. Yeah. Because every once in a while it is the gun. Every once in a while it is the gun.
All right, guys, let's
All right.
do it again.
Get up high in the tank.
Get
Get a good solid grip.
It's a chain. Yeah.
Here we go. Start out on your target. Watch your target. 3 or 4 rounds. Don't fight it. Shoot!
It should be set. There you go.
Yeah, there it is there.
Are you supposed to show us 5?
I don't.
Nice job.
Just go ahead, come watch.
Do it again. We're going to do it again. Make sure you got 3 or 4 before we start.
Hey guys, there's no time frame on this. You don't have to shoot so many rounds in a certain time. Work it. Think about what you're doing. Remember, we talked about myelination, practice, building skill. That's what you're doing. Don't waste it.
All right, here we go. We're going to do it again. Another 3 or 4. Again, like he said, slow it down. Break it into its smallest pieces. Gun's going to rise. Let that finger go out to reset. It is reset before you relax on the sights. Here we go. On target, on
Just
target.
let it climb up. Don't worry about the recoil. Just worry about the trigger.
Shoot!
Okay, now when those sights line up, that trigger should be set. You don't line up the sights and then let it out. You're literally, that's why I'm telling you to let the recoil climb, because as you're bringing the gun back down, the trigger's going forward.
Okay. Yeah, no kidding.
Go ahead and see.
All right, we're going to do it again. Go ahead.
Nice and easy.
Apple doesn't work. Right side
There you go.
triangle. One hand
There you go.
only, right
That's it.
side triangle. Start. Recoil. Don't let it rise as much. We're not telling you to get in a hurry, but fight that recoil to not let it rise as much the way you normally would. Go ahead and draw out. You're going to start out on target just like last time. Be mindful. Good trigger. It should be reset by the time you step back on those sights on the second shot. I'm going to do 3 or 4. Ready? Up on target. Shoot!
Load it up. No, your ears.
Start out up on target. Fight the recoil the way you normally would. Ready? Shoot!
You're going to fire the gun, and as the muzzle's going back forward, so's the trigger. So do you see the symmetry of action now? So that's what we're going to be looking for. It's going to be going boom, 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 boom. As the gun resets, trigger will be reset. What you'll find now with 2 hands on is you really start to get that cadence. Still not a speed event. I would much rather it be more like boom, 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 nice and consistent where you're getting a good rhythm than like a monkey on a typewriter. Boom, 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 boom. You know what I mean? Boom, 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 boom. That tells me you're doing everything in its turn. Okay? So as the gun's going back forward, so's the trigger. Sights line up, or sight dot lines up, trigger set. You're ready to shoot to save your life. Cool? You scared? You look scared.
I'm terrified.
Oh, he's dead.
What started that was back when I used to teach in the basic police academy. You'd have a group like this of jacked up 20 and 21-year-olds, you know, all that testosterone and shit. And you'd be standing there, be talking to them like, and they're like, and you just stop and look at a guy and go, "You scared?" And the look he'd get on his face was priceless. And no, I ain't scared of nothing. Like, why? What's going on? You know, just nothing. Just fucking with you. You know. All right, Bucky, you got him.
All right, guys. The relay that's up. Okay, the relay that should be ready.
Oh, good salvage. That was good.
That's how you get out of it. The relay that should be ready.
The relay should be. Damn it! The relay should be ready. Yes.
We're relay 1.
Yes. Relay 1. Relay uno.
All right, guys. More piston-like now. Boom, 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 boom.
All right, 2 hands on target. Same concept. Now you got a little more meat wrapping around that gun. Should be a little more stable.
Build a good grip. Don't accept a shit grip.
Hey, don't push yourself away from the gun as you present it out to the target.
If you're
Don't
not
lean
sure
back.
about your grip, give me a hand. I'll come work with you.
Go ahead, you lean into it. Here we go. 3 or 4 rounds. Shoot!
Good to see you again, Roy.
Good to see you, my friend.
Been a while.
How you been?
Good.
Well, if you're happy with it, I'm happy with
I sure am. I couldn't get a finger in there and I wasn't going to push too hard. Resets weren't as good as with the one hand, okay? I realize it might not be rising enough for you to get it reset. And Mr. Smith, let's put your eyes on. Let's put your eye protection on.
You guys remember that I told you that little thing I said, we'll see how minimal you can move your index finger and still set the gun off? Feel free to do that. You'll be surprised at how much more force you're using than you need to.
Here we go, up on target. On target, on trigger, get into it. 3 or 4, shoot! Chance, that body, especially some of you big beefalo guys, take advantage of that mass.
Your mother.
Put it on the back. Put it on the back of that gun.
I mean, think about it. Say you weigh 180 pounds.
I wish.
From here up, it would be 90 to 100.
No. This leg
Do you
is
want
180
that
pounds.
100 pounds here, or do you want it here? Which one do you think is going to help you hold that gun on target? Okay.
You can literally see it. When you guys stand up straight, it's kind of there. You lean back, that gun starts floating around. As soon as we fix you, it stops. Okay, here we go. Let's do it again. On target, on target. Put your ass on it.
Hoorah!
Ready? Shoot! Don't do what they were doing. Don't push yourself away from the gun. That changes all kinds of shit. Take advantage of putting body weight on the back of that gun to help manage that recoil. Make that piston-like, not leaning back and floating. Okay? All right, here we go, guys. It's gonna be 2 hands, starting out on target. Right side triangle. 2 hands, right side triangle. 3 or 4 rounds. Ready? Fight that recoil. Shoot! All right, because we're using 2 hands, doesn't mean we gotta go too fast, okay? So let's slow the down, and let's do that again, okay? Good presentation. Don't lean back, back on target. Here we go. 3 or 4 rounds. The little movement of the gun should reset that trigger if you do it right. Shoot! Okay. Let's do it again. Another 3 or 4. Shoot!
You may be tapping your trigger just a little bit, but it doesn't seem to be affected yet. Okay? Where it may get you.
Did you notice you could hear people talking?
Oh, yeah.
Through all the gunfire?
Yeah.
Right?
That's awesome.
All right, let's do it again.
Hands are getting sweaty. Yeah, it's called sweat. It sucks.
Put you on the back of the gun. Ready? On target. Shoot!
And really, don't think of it so much as a lean.
That lean helps a lot.
And really, don't think of it so much as a lean as you're just forward on your toes.
Yeah. Oh,
I mean,
cool.
if you
I
think
see, I
about
see.
it, you lean forward on your toes, and when you're just about to tip over, just unlock your knees. That'll settle you down. You're perfect.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Okay?
Okay.
That's all you need to do.
Okay.
Okay? All right.
Last call. Got enough for 3 or 4? Got enough for 3 or 4? It might be last call. On target. On target. Ready. Shoot.
So much easier.
Good.
Todd, you got enough for another cycle?
Hey, you probably weren't old enough. Do you remember back in the 1960s a TV show called The Man from U.N.C.L.E.?
Yeah.
He's got the fucking gun right here.
Oh, he's got a bunch.
Pull it out.
Space gun.
Pull it out. Look, he's got the Man from U.N.C.L.E. gun. Look at it.
Oh, yeah.
Could you make that into a rifle?
Dave wanted one of those as a kid.
Oh yeah, man. Look at that. Look at that shit down there. That's cool.
Hey, roll it.
I don't know how practical it is, but I think it's neater than shit.
Get it. Your camera on your ear, bro.
Look at that. Huh? Hell, you pull that out of your waistband, not just scare people, they just run.
Phaser.
All right.
Badass.
It always gets a comment.
Another call. Shoot!
It was the gun was up here and lowered just enough to see his hands. Well, as you can see, the muzzle's pointed right at Mr. Happy. Well, that's not safe, right? Well,
Depends if he does something stupid or not.
if you never got the opportunity to meet Colonel Cooper, he was an interesting fellow, really interesting guy, because he had this kind of a way about him or an attitude that when he would say something, you just shut up. You didn't want to try to engage him, you know? So when you would say something like, well, Colonel, you're still pointing the gun at him, he would get this kind of the individual should not be involved in an activity that would make me point my gun at him. Always his fault. Well, we all realize that's not necessarily the case, right? Sometimes people will just be in circumstances where they'll be in front of our gun, but don't deserve it. Just happenstance, things happen. Okay? So that's where law enforcement took the guard position to the low ready. The low ready wasn't his position. The American law enforcement created that. And it was to get the gun off the target at the feet. The problem is that the more you lower the gun, the more gravity wants to take control of it. You ever notice how hard it is to hold this for very long?
Yep.
And that's the problem with it, is it really gets to be taxing. Then we get into circumstances where you're in close confines, an airplane, protective operations, things like that. Having the gun all the way out here would be a disadvantage. We found that out back in the 1970s doing building search. Because our gun would be out in front of us like this, we'd be getting ready to go around the corner. What preceded us? The gun. Basically telegraphed our arrival. So we realized that maybe the gun being at full extension wasn't to our advantage. Well, some of us did. Some people cling to that low range position like a life raft. I do not. The reason I do not is because a fully extended pistol held in a particular location gets heavy quickly. Just take this position right here and do this. You can hold this position for a long time by merely taking the weight off the end. Does that make sense to everybody? Now, we still want to have that low ready position, but maybe we want to make it a little bit more ready because we want to be adaptive, right? So what if we brought it up here? See how much closer I am now to the eye target line, but I'm still holding the gun down? So you see, we can start doing things with it, okay? What if we're in a situation, the thing that jumps out to me right off the bat is a church security situation or school shooting, where all of a sudden you've got all kinds of little people and people's legs going by. Would me having my muzzle right here be a good idea?
No, sir.
Well, in that situation, the muzzle being up would maybe be more appropriate. So, as a general rule, pointing the muzzle up is less safe, whatever safe is. And here, if we launched around, it would probably close our gun club. Every gun club in America is probably one round away from being closed. So, I have to get a special dispensation to do this here. Let me show you guys this because it violates club rule. Because pointing it down, you have some degree of control of where the bullet's going to impact. So as a general rule, downward angle is the better way to go, but sometimes it's not appropriate, is it? See, that's the problem with ready positions. They're kind of regimented when they need to be more adaptive. You need to be able to flow from one to another based on the circumstances in front of you. I mean, I can remember when I was especially working narcotics, when I was in SWAT, entries were a little bit different, but when we were in narcotics, things were really kind of slow and methodical. And I can remember going through and bringing the gun here, pushing the door open, coming back this way, going around things, coming over like that. There was no way you could have the gun in one position. What are they doing in SWAT now?
All that. Yeah.
All of it?
Yeah.
Are they moving the gun?
Yeah. Temple index, chest, depressed.
Sewell, all that?
Yeah.
I'm not a big Sewell fan. And it's not that I think the position's unsafe.
Traps the
It's
gun.
just the idea of having this hand buried underneath the gun makes no sense to me, because this
That's right.
hand can be used for so many wonderful things. What do I want to put it here?
Yep.
I can do this and not have my hand underneath it.
My department doesn't allow for us to do Sewell because of Dave. And I blamed him, and then for a while they're like, well, Bucky's been doing this a long time too, so we'll listen to him. But we have shoulder mics, and we got shit, other stuff we have to be doing when we could have that gun. We could be moving instead of having a hand trapped. And his favorite thing is a hand in the face. And I'm like, look, if you need to put a hand in the face, let's do what Dave does. And they finally
I used to like
adopted it.
punching people in the face. I mean, I've gotten older now, not so much, but back in my younger days, I liked it. So I kind of liked having this hand available. But think about what we're doing. All you got to do is turn the gun sideways, bend the wrist. I don't need to have this hand underneath it. Also, keep in mind that Sewell was created by guys that had equipment. People without equipment, look where it's at.
Well, that's one of the other advantages here.
Well, that tactical shell. Tactical shell. But this position right here makes a ton of sense. I just don't like to have my hand underneath. That's all. The temple index or having the gun up here next to it, I don't think it's as good as having the gun right here, because I like to be able to keep track of it. Plus, if Terry's my threat, right there he is, I haven't got the gun up here. If I'm over here like this and somebody comes up to my blind side and they take my gun,
Thank you.
what do I know?
Thank you.
Well, Dave, it's blocking your vision. Watch. Okay, I got it covered.
Or even.
Okay? So, what it made us create is what we started calling the arc of ready. And it's literally moving the muzzle in an arc based on the circumstance. So, our first position is what we call air marshal ready. And the first time I saw this position, oh, for God's sakes, it must have been early 90s. 90, 91. I saw it with the Air Marshal Service, back when there was only like 50 some of them. And they were doing this. Of course, it's not safe, right? It's pointing straight ahead. But think about their environment.
Yeah.
Where can they point their gun that they're not pointing it at somebody? They're in a fucking tube. So, and also think about it. Has anybody not flown in sardine class? When they draw their pistol and start to come out, what do they got?
People everywhere.
This is it. This is all they got.
Yeah.
And then the gun's going to probably go in one or two directions. For them, it makes a ton of sense. The reason we incorporate is because if you draw the pistol and then go into a ready position, where does it come from? So we include it for that reason, just continuity of action. But you go here, and then you can go here, or you can go here. Now, it's different with one hand. Here, here, here. Oh, no, it's actually the same. But all you're basically doing is you're just moving the muzzle based on what's happening right here. I love the smell of hoppies in the afternoon. Okay, let's go to classic low ready position, okay? Will the aorta work?
Yep. 0.75.
Probably the chest cavity, that's the best shot you can take. What was it?
0.75.
Okay, 0.75. All right, let's go to air marshal ready. This is the one everybody thinks the fastest because all you gotta do is push the gun straight out, right?
0.81.
Okay, 7.5 and 8.1. What? I mean, almost immeasurable, isn't it? Okay. High ready. This is the new darling of many people because it does get your eye in the red dot sight fast. They all like that because you get your eye in that red dot sight, but it's not always appropriate.
Here we go. Watch your target. 0.81 again.
8.1. Okay. Now, kind of a compressed low ready. What I kind of like.
0.80.
I'm off the aorta. Sue me.
So 7.5, 8.1, and 8.0.
7.5, 8.1, 8.0. So when someone says, well, this one's better, no, it's not true. It's not true. You can go from position to position to position based on the circumstance you face with equal speed. I'm under a second. How fast do you need to be? You guys brought 1,200 rounds, right?
Yep.
Yeah, so you can do 2 rounds. They got plenty of ammo.
All right, guys, so we're going to work inside that arc, and the way I'm going to call it is I'll start you in the center for your presentation from that center ready, that chest ready, position 3, whatever you want to call it. And when I give you the call to shoot, you're going to, you know, present, give me 2 rounds. When you come back, okay, I'm going to call you into another position. So we're going to work in the center for 2, we'll go low for 2, back to the center for 2, up high for 2, back to the center, etc. So I'll be working you through. So each time that I give you a call, just know that the next call is going to be at a different position. Does that make sense?
Yep. Yes,
so we'll start center, low, center, high, back to center. That's how we're going to work it. Each time you get a call, okay, it's going to be 2 rounds. Remember, we just did that trigger reset, chunk those skills together, right? How to do that,
Yeah,
reset and
we go for
recovery.
something else because we've moved on. You build on what you just done.
I like that word chunking.
Yep, that's what chunking of skills are. Remember, if it feels like you're hardly moving, you're probably doing it right.
Look where you want those sights to ride. We're using the chest cavity, Here we go. Starting out from the center. Ready? 2 rounds. Shoot! Chest cavity. Here we go. Now go to that depressed muzzle. Ready, depressed muzzle, okay?
Don't be in a hurry to come off him. Your 2 shots may not have worked.
Let's fix you here. It's going to be kind of pointed towards his toes, not yours. Yeah. Kind of his toes, not yours.
Out there.
Right, like this. Watch my hands, check it out.
You don't need to be down here.
Right, his toes, not yours. The round goes off, it's right in front of his toes, not yours. Okay? And we're going to drive that way. Here we go.
It's just like this, you're just pulling it in.
2 rounds. Ready? Shoot! Okay, back to center, back to center. We're working inside that arc. Okay, back to center. Ready? Shoot! Okay, work up the inside of that arc and the higher end of that arc, right? Good idea to have that just below your dominant eye. So it's that line that you follow out to present that gun, straight line from underneath that dominant eye. Here we go. Ready? Shoot! Back to center, back to center. Ready? Shoot! All right, back to center, depress that muzzle. Okay? If a round went off here, it should be in front of his toes, not yours. Ready? Shoot!
On target, right? Is this on target? Yeah. Then your finger shouldn't be on the trigger. On target, on trigger, off target, off trigger. Good? Okay. Yes, real good.
All right. It's going to be that high ready position, right? Remember, just below that dominant eye, that straight tracking out, it shouldn't porpoise. I saw a few of you doing this. Everybody real quick. This is porpoise, right? When you see somebody doing this, that shouldn't be happening. Yep. You want to pretend like there's an eyelet, a steel eyelet on the front of that gun, and it tracks straight out a cable, straight along that, instead of up and down that way. Here we go.
Looking at him.
Ready? Shoot! There you go, Ron. Good job. Good job. Back to center. To the low end of that arc. Low end of the arc. Shoot! Back to center, nice and level. You can kind of look up and down the line and see if everybody's guns are level. If they had to take a shot, could they? Okay. Then shoot 2 from here. Shoot! All right, now same thing. You're back to center. Now watch. I'm gonna get just in that position. It's not much movement, and it's not much movement to present it to that target. Just tipping it over. Okay. Here we go. Ready? Shoot! Back to center.
I did that so hard one time in a little snubby class. I slid on it. I pulled my hand out. A model 36 was hanging right here from my hand.
Ow.
So
That sounds
that doesn't work with revolvers. But by attacking the juncture of the trigger guard and the grip, it works with both revolvers and pistols. And what I have found over time is it gave me greater control in how I folded my hand over the pistol grip. It also allowed me to fold my hand and get higher in the tang so that we have something that looks more like this than something that looks like this. Now, how do we go about that? We're talking about hip holsters first. Then I'll talk about appendix carrier, or what I call forward of the hip. Okay? For the side holsters, even for the lower, I know a couple of you law enforcement guys got the lower, doesn't matter, same thing. You want the path of travel of your hand to be the same regardless of where it starts. Now, what does that mean? Well, everybody freeze right now. Just freeze. Now, everybody turn your heads and look at all the different hand positions that people are in. Your hands could start in a lot of different places, couldn't they? They could start here, they could start here, they could start there, they could start here, they could start. Think about it. We've got to deliver your hand to the pistol, because that's what we're doing. We've got to deliver your hand to the pistol the same way each and every time. How do we do that? By merely folding your elbow to the rear. Watch. If my hands are hanging at my side and I fold my elbow to the rear, look where it goes. I'm out here like, hey, let's not do this, Abner, let's not do this. I fold my elbow to the rear, look where my hand goes. I'm standing here like this, just, you know, relaxing, every kind of a thing, talking to somebody at the Walmart. Elbow to the rear, where's my hand go? Hands are in my pockets. Elbow to the rear, where does my hands go? If you fold your elbow to the rear, your arm will pivot from the shoulder. Your elbow will go back in the same path, and it will deliver your hand to the belt level. What you have to do based on the length of your arms, your flexibility, things like that, is where is the best place to place your holster so it meets your hand. Now, inside the waistband holsters, is it easier to lock them in place? You bet. Because now you've got the pressure of the trouser band and the belt holding them in place. So that works fine. If you look at some of the law enforcement guys, they've got the thigh holsters on. What's the reason for the strap down here? Hold it in place. It looks cool. Oh, it holds the holster in place.
Sack grabber.
It holds the holster in place.
It's all about the gram.
Okay? I mean, that makes a ton of sense. Got a duty holster, Mike. Come here. Now, it may look like it's in a funny position because you can see Mike's kind of got it canted in the way, but I'll bet you the amount of money that when his hand comes up, that's where it goes. Yeah. He wants it to be right there. And he's made into great pains into making sure it's locked in that spot. What we used to do is we used to put our belt keepers on each side of it to hold it in place.
That's right. Yep, one in front, one in back.
Whatever that is for you, find it. And then once you find it and it works for you, don't screw with it. I don't care what instructor XYZ says. Don't screw with it. If you've got something that works for you, leave it alone. Okay? Keep in mind, however, that wherever you put it, you don't want to be torquing your hand around because it's got so much cant. Like a canted holster, like, come here. He's got a holster that's in the classic FBI cant. It's designed to be worn behind the trouser seam. Because when his elbow goes back in his hand, you see how it's straight down? If he took that forward, look where his wrist and stuff would have to be in order for him to draw that.
He'd have to go like that.
Yeah, you really can't get there from here. So what the best way to do this, thank you, I appreciate it. The best way to do this is just to stand here like this, and again, this is if you're using a hip holster, not an appendix. The best thing to do is just kind of stand here like this and bring your hands up. And do you see how my hand mates with the pistol right in the right spot? That's just perfect for me. Every once in a while I'll fumble a draw, but not very often. When I fumble the draw, it's when I'm trying to push myself to go a little faster. But that's when you meet that threshold. Okay, I've gone too fast, now I got to reel it back. But if you don't do that, you'll never know how fast you can be. So you got to kind of push it a little bit. So wherever that is, find it, and then get a holster and a belt that lock it in place. Doesn't matter if it's Kydex, doesn't matter if it's leather, doesn't matter if it's a hybrid holster. That stuff is eyewash for the gun magazines. Use what you like. Use what you like. I kind of like Kydex. It's pretty fast. There's no break-in period. But I'll tell you, for many, many years, decades actually, I carried a Milt Spark Summer Special.
God rest his soul.
Right back here in my hip. And boy, that thing was broken to the point it was so pliable and everything. But what happened, and Clint Smith told me the same thing happened to him, is that he did it for so long that you get this dead spot on your hip and it becomes really uncomfortable. But it's great, it's concealable, it stays in place. Do all kinds of, I mean, it was just a wonderful holster. I liked leather. Inside the waistband, I still like leather better because it does soften up and get pliable. Those hard shell holsters really don't do that. They really don't do that. So that's how you set up your holster. I can't tell you where to put it. You'll have to find that out for yourself. But when you find that sweet spot, how do I say this in a way that'll bring it home? I know. Leave it the fuck alone. Leave it alone. Okay? Now, and if you're the size of Carrie, where you've got what, a 16-inch waist, you've got to put it wherever it'll sit. But we've gone more towards the front. That's okay. That doesn't hurt anything. This right here, though, I can't even hardly wear it this way now. It's already digging into me. But over here, I could get away with it for a little bit. The option is, though, is that there's multiple locations to carry this. Quite frankly, everybody talks about this being dangerous. I have seen more mishaps with people that go back here to holster than here.
Yep.
Okay? So I really don't get bent around the axle. So, but let's talk about appendix or forward of the hip carry. This is where using that juncture of the trigger guard and the grip will come in very, very handy. I have seen a number of you in this class do this because it's hard to get your fingers in here because of that gelatinous goo that you got right there. What you're doing is you're shoving your thumb here. Then you're lifting the gun out of the holster, and right here you're acquiring the grip. What's the chance that your finger could end up in the trigger guard about right here?
Doover doo down.
Yeah, you really don't want to do that. A couple of you have made me hold my breath just a little bit, and I'm thinking I can't wait to get to the holster shit. Yeah, you don't want to do that, folks. You want to go here. Even if you've got to cram your fingers in, you want to go here and then lift it up, and you'll have your firing grip. Okay? Now, putting the gun away. We like to make fun of people to do this. And the reason we make fun of them is it pleases us.
Just you. It hurts me in here.
But you'll see these guys.
Makes you weep in your heart.
Put the gun away, and you'll see them do this.
Yeah, looking into the holster.
Did you see that?
All the way down your chest.
Why do you want to rake your torso to put the gun away? Douchebaggery. Folks, putting the gun away, whether it's here or it's back here, is the same. There is no reason to point it at yourself until it actually goes into the holster pouch. And then there's nothing you can do. Because whether you're carrying it here or you're carrying it here, when it's going in the holster, it's pointed in your direction. That's why you keep this out of the way. Every mishap I've ever seen has been this.
Yep.
Where's my holster's not in the spot right here like that. See it? Boom. This, it would be a greater tragedy with it because of the location of the holster, right? People are overthinking this. All you have to do is take the dust cover, or if you've got a flashlight on it, the bezel of your flashlight. Bring it back here like this. You may have to turn your body, but you just bring it over the holster mouth and rotate it in. I've seen some guys say, tap it here like this and then go over. I don't like that as well as just going right here and tapping it in. It's the same thing here. I just bring it right straight back and I rotate it in like that. I don't have to look at it. Well, you should always look when you put the holster, when you put the away. Yeah, I guess I don't mind if you look at it, but you don't have to dwell on it. I see people put the gun away and they're like, you better have killed me because I'll kick your ass while you're doing it. No, what you should be doing is you should be just enough to get it in and then getting your head back up again.
Ready? Shoot! Try your hands in some different spots. Again, remember, it's a fight, man. Shoot! Don't push away. Ready? Lean into it. Shoot! Put you on there. Some of you, once you're arriving on target and you know those sights are aligned, what are we waiting for?
Nothing. No, shoot.
Think about it. If you're lined up, get the shot off. Here we go. Watch your target.
Redeem yourself.
Ready? Shoot!
So much better.
Let's do it again. Let's do it again. You got enough ammo? Up and out. Verify. Ask yourself those questions. Shoot! Back in the holster. Remember, be very deliberate, even on the way back. Do one more call. Here we go. Make it the best one. Don't push away from the gun. Good path. Arrive where you want it. Place it. Shoot! Alright, I'm back in the hole. You go to draw from concealment and you get fouled up with the garment, okay? Just stop. Don't try to fight through that and end up dropping the gun. We definitely don't want you to try to catch a falling gun in midair. That's dangerous. If you get hung up on something, just stop, reset, fix it, and get a good draw stroke. Single round, each call, up and out, just like we did from ready positions. As you present that gun out, don't push away from it. Don't do that. Up and out, don't push your body away from it. Put you on the back. Here we go, single round per call. Oh, chest cavity. Chest cavity. Single round to the chest cavity. Up and out. Ready? Shoot! Back in the holster, and don't be in a drag race to put the thing away. The questions that we were talking about. Hey, did I hit him? Was it effective? Does he need more medicine? Okay? He doesn't? Then he's okay. Back in the holster. Here we go. Watch your targets. Watch your targets. See if it arrives where you're looking. Shoot! Okay? Darren's going to be coming along with the stick and seeing if any of you are scoopers. I saw a little bit of scooping on a guy named Todd. Rhymes with Todd. Okay. Todd. He scooped right there.
Scoop free zone down here.
Ready? Shoot!
I moved a step
Shoot!
over.
Why did my hand get stuck on my shirt?
Back in the holster. Let's do it again. Let's do it again. Hands in a different position. Hey, don't want any trouble. Shoot! Come on, back up on target. Push away from the gun. Shoot!
Nicely done, Wade.
That Wade doesn't want the stick. He's been beaten before. I bet he got whoopings as a kid.
I saw the sticks coming out earlier.
Yeah.
Yeah. My grandpa called them switches. Man, they hurt when I was little. Here we go. Go cut yourself a switch. Shoot!
Shanked out. Man, I'm shanking those shots.
Let's do it again. Let's do it again. Focus, focus. No scooping, no casting. Shoot! Focus. Your speed. Ready? Shoot! Once you got those 3, on the way back, straight back and down. Remember, fix your grip. None of that. Fix it with that. Here we go. Let's do it again. Let's do it again. Up and out for 3. Ready? Shoot! And reholstered. Let's do it again. Remember, if your garment fouls anything, just reset. Stop, reset, work around it, and fix it. Don't get panicked, and don't try to catch a falling gun. Here we go. Watch your targets. Ready? Shoot!
Because they're easy. They're easier. But everybody kept, oh no, you gotta have a red dot class. You gotta have a red dot class. It's very specific. You gotta have a red dot. No, you don't. Yeah, you do. So we said, okay, good. So what we did is we bought the 6 most popular red dots, and we just shot them every way we could think of. First thing we should tell you, all 6 of them went back. All 6 of them went back for repair. And I'm not trashing on Trijicon. I like Trijicon products a lot. But their RMR went back before we could even...
They're not as perfect as you think they are, guys.
They're not as perfect as you think you are, but it went back right away. But the Holo Sun, the Delta Point Pro, the Shield, the J Point, what else did we have?
We had...
But at one point they all went back for repair.
We had 6.
So, we wanted to create our own class. We didn't want to get cluttered with somebody else's information because, you know, in the firearms instruction arena, what happens is I go to his class, his class, his class, and then I pick the things I want and I create my class and try to tell you that it's unique. Fuck you. Anyway, so we created our own class, and what we did is we just shot them every way we could think of. We shot them upside down, laying on the ground with a garden hose.
You wouldn't believe the shit that the internet erupted when he was upside down shooting underneath at a barricade that had some cutouts, and he was just trying to figure out.
We were just looking for any flaw.
That's it.
I would think the internet would appreciate that. Yeah. I was wrong.
Damn you for showing truth.
I was wrong. But I've come to realize that it's not so much that someone's attacking me, it's them raising their profile. I just happen to be the vehicle for it.
That's right.
So, fuck them. Anyway,
Beep.
so as we developed our own class and stuff like that, we realized that the only real difference between the red dot and iron sights was presentation. Placing the gun on the target. Because with the red dot, there's no forgiveness like there is with irons. If you don't see your iron sight, you've got full peripheral vision. With red dots, you got this TV screen it's got to be in. But we also realized really quickly that when the red dot wasn't in the screen, it's just off the edge. It's not sitting way over here because you have the ability to point it. All you got to do is just refine it, and that just requires you to do this. Boom, there it is. So as part of that effort, we created what we called the orange dot drill. Why? Any questions? Right? They're just stickers we bought on Amazon. We wanted a 2-inch sticker. We do this at 5 yards, and the reason we do that is on this side sticker at 5 yards, the red dot from your red dot sight sits very nicely in there with some space, so you get a real nice, precise placement. We realized very quickly that it works just the same with iron sights. Because what it makes you do is it makes you place the gun on target. Because you got to come up, out, it's got to go right there. But it also requires a commitment on your part. Because there's 4 things you have to ask yourself when you're doing this drill. And if you're not asking yourself those questions, then you're just short-circuiting everything we're trying to do here. Okay? So let me put this in the holster. You're my red dot target. I'm standing here like this, and on the command to do, you come up, you go out. First question is, did my dot arrive on the dot? If not, why didn't it? Okay? Did my dot right on the dot? That's question number 1. Pow! I fire my shot. Question number 2, did my hole go in the dot? That's where the sight is, right? Why didn't the hole go in the dot? That's another question. Why didn't it? Number 3, when my gun recovered, is it back on the dot? If not, why not? Question number 4, is my trigger reset and ready for the next round? If not, why not? Think about everything you just did and only fired 1 round. A lot. And you fired 1 shot. You delivered the gun precisely where you wanted it. You deliberately placed it, right? You engaged the trigger, depressed it to the rear, put the round where you needed it to be. You recovered in recoil because you had a good grip on it, you were into the gun like we taught you. And your trigger was reset because that's where you've taught yourself to be. You want to be ready to fire the next shot. So with 1 round, if you ask yourself those questions, you cover a ton of ground. People will ask me, I've only got 50 rounds of ammunition, what should I do? I would tell them to do this for about 20 rounds. What I do in my own practice sessions is I do this 3 times with 1 round, 3 times with 2 rounds, 3 times with 3 rounds. After 3 rounds, it's just redundant. Because I get a lot of practice and I cover a lot of ground. Can you do it from concealment? Yeah. Can you do it from your duty gear? Yeah. Your competition rig? Yeah. But it makes you do a lot of stuff without a lot of effort. And the targets are incredibly expensive. Even at today's prices and supply chain, you get a roll like this for, what, 26 bucks or something like that? Yeah. Or you can go, print them off of websites and stuff. There's all kinds of dots. You can make your own dots. It's not that big a deal. It's just a 2-inch dot. Okay, so one of the things I do when I do this is I start with my hands in different positions. Totally up to you, okay? If you want to start with your hands low, it's just didn't look like much, but look at everything I accomplished. The gun came up, it arrived. Did you notice that from the time it arrived to the time I fired the shot, there wasn't a lot of lag time? We'll know that because what you guys will do is you'll come up and go, pow! Well, that'll tell us you didn't arrive on the dot. Keep in mind that when you come up and do this, you don't have to have the red dot or the sight right on it. You just have to be close. Then you just refine it. But if you're way over here, we're going to see it. So it's the same thing we've been teaching you. Hands are here, elbow straight to the rear. I have acquired my shooting grip. Up, turn, build. And I went high. You know what? That sometimes happens. So we do it again. My trigger's reset, I'm on target, everything was fine. So then what do? Now, we won't do this individual because you'll get shot. But what I would do, when I miss that, I make myself pay a penalty. I stop, I make myself walk down and tape that. As a reminder, dumbass. You lost focus, you didn't do it right. I took the walk of shame, paid the penalty. But then what we're going to do is we're going to go into 2 shots. Okay, one's a little bit low, but not too bad, but it's not where I wanted it, was it? I wanted it in the dot, so it's a miss. I go up, my tape it. Then we'll go to 3 shots. If it catches the edge of the circle, I'm good with that. The target's so small, it feels to me like if it cuts the edge, you should get it. You know, I know some of these guys out here, well, we got to measure it and see if half it, fuck them. If you cut the edge of it, it's in. Okay? If you didn't, it's out. But at this point, I'd walk up here and I'd make myself pay the penalty. I'd tape it up. But that's how simple the drill is. But if you don't ask yourself those questions, you're not getting full benefit. And you know, you got to do that mentally. If you're doing that out loud, that's weird. So don't do that.
Got to have that on video, Abner. Everybody standing there. Did my sights arrive where I was looking? Did my bullet go over the sights where? How much? That would be creepy.
It's just flat strange. Yeah.
Single shot on the dot. Shoot.
Oh, should have gone home, Rand.
I wanted to.
Dave, just letting you know when you do that, it breaks him.
Heist is gonna put it down. He's gonna gas it up,
Okay, here
burn
we
it
go.
down.
Shot on the dot. Stop hovering. Once
If
your
you're
sights are on
zeroed
the
for
target,
further back, that
get the shot off. Here
Yeah.
we
can
go.
be off a little bit.
Ready? Shoot.
It wasn't a bad miss, but it's a miss.
Okay, I told you.
Abner, did you record my good hit just now?
No, I was pointing at Heist.
Yeah, which is terrible.
Until you come over.
Will you record me now?
All right, Awesome is about to be laid down, folks.
Here we
This
go.
is King Dingaling, Mike A.
Here we go.
King Diggly.
Shoot.
My first round yet. Thanks, Abner. Appreciate it.
You're welcome. The camera adds stressor. It's like a shot timer.
No, I think it was you calling me King
Get
Dingaling.
ready.
Oh,
We're gonna
okay.
do it again. The
Didn't mean to. I take it
It's all
back.
good, man.
Take it back. Put a condom on it.
Focus. Up, out. Break a good trigger. Shoot. All right. Some of you are putting those guns away pretty quick. As dumb as some of you are, no way you answered all those questions that fast. Okay? So on this next single shot, I want to see a little bit of hesitation in finishing up and then verifying every one of those questions. Here we go. Let's do it again. I want to do one more single and then move on to the doubles. One more single and move on to the doubles. Ready? Shoot! Ask those questions. Ask those questions before you put it away.
You can do this. It's just
Did
all
my
in your head.
sight arrive where I wanted it to? Did the bullet go where I wanted it to? Did I get sight picture again? And do I have reset and recovery? What are you gonna ask?
Here we go.
In the dot.
Prove it to ourselves.
Yeah, you're
Ask
fine.
those
You
questions
zero.
again. Last call on single shot. Single. Last call on single. Ready? Shoot! Same thing, same questions, but 2 shots with this. Ready? Don't hover, break good triggers. Shoot! 2 rounds. Remember, answer all those questions before you put it away.
If you're not asking those 4 questions, you're not getting the maximum benefit. You got to do that internally.
Let's do it again. Let's do it again. 2 rounds. Shoot! Shoot!
One way high.
Up next to that other one. Yeah.
That one in and that one way up.
Yeah.
2 shots. Shoot! Ready? Shoot! Focus. Three rounds. Shoot!
Yeah.
Let's do another call on 3
trying to
rounds. You got
change it up
enough?
for the next
You guys got 6 rounds left, maybe? Don't wait till you run out of gas. So if you don't have 6, let's fix that. Shoot! 3 rounds.
Okay, it's you.
One more call. One more call.
That's a great way to get free ammo.
I got 3 rounds of practice with somebody else's ammo.
On this next call, let's fix that catching it in midair crap. Let's fix that catching it in midair crap. Okay. Ready? Shoot! Damn it! All right, you got enough for this last call? Last call. Here we go. 3. Bang, recover, bang, recover, bang, recover. Hold, ask the question. Shoot! All right, guys.
It's like something went off in her head.
Back in the holster. Let's go ahead and make this line good and safe. Nothing's out. Go ahead and pick up your magazine.
Hey, can I get you guys to help out?
on
Everybody
down.
pull your target down, bring it back with you.
Did you do a perfect run?
Stand back there.
No,
Who was that?
not me. I got one out.
Well, you got one measly little bullet out. Good job.
Well, thank you.
Stakes too, or just the target?
When we come back, I'm going to go a little bit out of order. But what I'm going to do first thing in the morning, we're going to talk about garment removal techniques. And we're going to do both closed front and open front garments. Okay? Talk a little bit about that.
Dave,
I'm not gonna-
also,
huh?
Dave, you gonna do tucked also?
Do what?
Tucked shirt?
Tucked shirts.
Yeah, like a dress shirt.
Well, you got it tucked over your gun?
Not in this setup, but there is a different one. I got a holster there. We'll let you tuck it till you tuck it.
Well, we can talk about that with you.
All right.
Like those crossbreed type holsters.
No, it's a
Like a
tuck
work
strut,
holster.
filter tuck strut one. I don't run it that much, but I might as well milk him for knowledge while I have him.
Anyway, we're going to talk a little bit about garment removal and give you some different techniques you can try, both open and closed front. Now, if you're using duty gear and you're going to stick with duty gear, that's fine. You don't have to worry about it. You can just shoot the drills. And then what we'll do is we're going to move into reloads and stoppage clearances, manipulations. We'll do that tomorrow. There won't be any getting on the ground tomorrow, so if you want to wear shorts, that's perfectly acceptable. I got no problem with that whatsoever. I can't guarantee that, though, on Wednesday into Thursday. We may be getting on the ground and doing stuff like that. Well, we probably will be. So just letting you know that up front. Questions, comments, concerns, or death threats? About anything? Did it all make sense? Yep. Complete.
This class is going to be a gut check.
Huh?
This class is going to be a gut check.
I hope so.
Yeah.
I hope so.
5 days of this kind of heat
Why
and
would we
shooting.
blow at that? You know, yeah, that's good. That's good. It's not going to be your typical shooting class where you go and shoot drills and marvel at your wonderfulness. That's not what it's intended to be. It's not intended to make you feel good about yourself when you leave at the end, so you'll come back again, because
There ain't no coming back.
Because you don't give a shit.
you can leave here totally pissed. It ain't going.
This is like your wedding day. Oh, damn it. There's only one.
So, anyway, all right. Well then, if nobody's got anything, again, don't clear your guns out except down there and over there at the fiddle table. And we will see you on the range tomorrow at 9 a.m.
Does it say to leave chairs here?
Thanks, guys.
We've never had a theft problem.